But today we'll learn, with God's help, the Haftorah of this week's Torah portion, which is Noach. Noach. So let's see if we can do it here. Here we go. Share screen. Right. This is another one of the beautiful prophecies of Isaiah. What's that? That's you singing? Who's singing? Hello? Am I doing that? No, I don't think so. All right, here we go. Ready? So this is a prophecy of Isaiah. Now, Isaiah was in the middle of the first temple, but he was prophesying that the first temple was going to be destroyed, and actually that the second temple was also going to be destroyed, and the Jews would be spread all over the world. But he was also telling them, the Jews, that no matter what they do, no matter what happens, God is always going to love the Jewish people, and he's never going to leave them. No, it makes no difference what they do, because he has a brit, a covenant that he made with the Jewish people of unending love. Love. No matter what the Jews do, God is always going to love them. And he's not going to exchange them, and he's not going to exchange the Torah, and he's not going to make a new Torah. He's not going to make a new Jewish people. And he's not going to, the Jewish people as they are, same definition, Torah definition, Jewish people. But on the other hand, the Jewish people are not acting properly. So Yeshaya is coming to tell the Jewish people that God wants you to get your act together and start acting properly. But you should know that the reason he's doing this, I mean, you can say, what does God care? Let the Jews do what they want, and then just wipe them out like with the flood. You've got your choice. It's your life. You live it however you want. But God is saying, no, you're wrong. It's my life. I'm giving you the life. And you can live it however you want to. But I'm not going to give up on you with the hope that you'll live it the way that I want to. So let's go. Now, the Jewish people, when they're destroyed, the temples are destroyed, so the Jewish people are like a barren woman. Because they have, what's this? What is this going on? What is this? Okay. And so Rani Akira, it's not, oh, here we go. I got to get this thing fixed. Something is wrong with my machine over here. My machine is rebelling against me. Rani Akira lo Yalada. Be happy, the barren woman that has not given birth. What you got to be happy about? Pitzchi Rina. Open yourself, whatever it is, in joy and song. Sali and Sali, another word for happiness. Another word for great happiness. 1 second, excuse me 1 minute. I just want to look something up over here. There we go. This, by the way, is Isaiah chapter 54. Chapter 54. Okay. Vetsali and yes, Lo Chala. You who have never been in the experiences, the pain of birth. Because you've never given birth, but you should be happy, because a woman, now really, what really makes people happy is if they have children. That's true joy. There's all sorts of other joys that you can have and other meaningful things that can also be. But to have children that act properly, there's nothing really comparable to that. There were great people that never got married. There was, Beethoven and Kant and these other people and Newton. And they certainly had meaningful lives. But on the other hand, there's a certain meaning, which, I mean, you can have a meaningful life without children, but there's certain meaning and joy which is added by having children. So that's what God is saying. The saying barren one, you don't have any children. Don't have any children. You should be rejoicing the one who has never have any birth travails. Ki rabim b'nei shmama, because the children of the desolate one, this is Jerusalem, Shama, rabim will be more b'nei be'ula than the children of the inhabited one. Now, who is the inhabited one over here? What's going on? Let's have a look at some. We have the explanation of Rabbi David Kimchi. Rabbi David Kimchi, he was born in. Why isn't this going down? He was born in. He was born in France. My machine is making trouble. What can we do with these machines, huh? Oh, there we go. There we go. Press the right button. And there we go. So this is the explanation of Rabbi David Kimchi. He was born in France about the same time that the Maimonides was born in Spain, about 100 years after Rashi. And so this is his rejoice Jerusalem, because you used to be a barren woman that didn't have any children, and you were like a woman that never got pregnant, and she never gave any birth. She never gave birth. But don't worry, because your children are going to be more than the children of desolation. What does it mean? Even though Jerusalem was a long time and desolate, nevertheless, you shall have many, many children. In other words, all the Jews are going to come back to Jerusalem. There'll be more than Bnei Be'ula. This is the children that were born in exile. Shehem umot ha'olam, shehem be'ulot. Klamar be'isha she'yoshevet im bala ubanim. Now you are going to, instead of being estranged from your husband and with other men, where there was no really giving birth, so to speak, you're going to be back with your husband. We're talking about Jerusalem and God, and you're going to have a lot of children. But it says, that's what it says in Eicha, in Lamentations, that the Jewish people are like a widow, but not really a widow, because like a widow means that her husband has left her, or she's left her husband, but her husband is still alive. And Yonatan, Targum Yonatan says that because there will be many children, will be more than the children of Rome and the other places. In other words, then the Bo'olech means your children will be more than those of Rome. And he says interesting thing, because Rome is the fourth exile. Because what was the first exile was in Egypt. The second exile was Babylon. And the third one was Greece, or some people say Madai. And the fourth one is Rome. What about Ishmael? Says that the fact that the Arabs ruled over the land of Israel, even though it was very strong, but nevertheless, the Rome ruled over it. In other words, Christianity ruled over Islam. There's always going to be more Christians than Islam, even though in a lot of ways Christianity is worse than Islam, because they are idolatry. It's worshiping God together with something else. But on the other hand, they have an advantage because the Christians, at least, they believe in the Torah. Even though they twisted and they perverted all the meaning of the words, but nevertheless they say that the Torah is from God, and that is the ultimate truth. So when Mashiach comes and shows everybody what the Torah is really saying, and that all their interpretations are totally wrong, so it won't be very difficult for them to accept that, because 99% of these Christians are genuine people. They've just been fooled by their rabbis and whoever it was, that these all twisted interpretations that they have are totally false. Okay, so it says you're going to be tarchib, you're going to be widened out because of the tremendous number of children that are going to live there. So here we go. Rejoice, barren one, that you have not given birth. Have rejoicing and singing and jubilation, because you're going to have more children than the children of those who kept you in exile. That's one of the explanations. And your place will be big. Archivi makom alech. You raise Mishkan HaSarah, you will widen your number of tents and your the whatever is the tents. You know, tents are made from like drapes. From the drapes where you dwell, you should pull out the strings. In other words, make them very strong, so that so that it'll be a place for all of your children. Where am I? Here we go. Oh, change my accent. I'm sorry. Yes, that's right. Lengthen out your cords, strengthen the pegs. You'll burst out to the right and the left. Here we go. Key, because because you Jewish people will spread out to the right and to the left. Bazarech Goyim Yurash, and your seed, your offspring, will inherit the various nations, and the desolate cities you will settle. In other words, that's the prophecy of the Melech HaMashiach. It is the whole world will simply be ruled by the Creator and the Creator alone, and the Creator, especially through His Torah, which is the only time the Creator appeared in the world. So don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed, because don't worry, God is not going to shame you. Al tachpirui, because the shame of your youth, you'll be forgotten. It was all the sins that the Jews did, the weird, stupid things that they did, will be all forgotten. V'chirpas almonasayach, and the shame, the disgrace of your barrenness and your abandonment, that your husband won't be mentioned again. Because God, so to speak, is making like He's abandoned the Jews, right? They're all scattered around. They're all confused. So that the Jews are supposed to advertise to the world that God exists and that God creates them, and that the Torah is the blueprint for creation, and that it's the handbook for a proper life, to be connected to the oneness of God in everything you do. But as soon as the Jews stopped doing that, so God, so to speak, left them. That's the idea of destroying the temple and not destroying the Jews. So it says, don't worry about it. True, it was been terrible. It's bad time. But your abandonment will never be redeemed again. Your widowhood, quasi widowhood, because your husband, Baalech, because your master is your maker. Your master, He created you. God is not some person. He's creating you right now. God, the God of all hosts is His name. And your Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel. The God of the whole, and He will be called the God of the whole world. And that's the motto of Judaism. Shema Yisrael, listen, Jews, Hashem Elokeinu, God is our God. And God is one. The God of the Jews is one. Of course, there's a way out of this. But how can you get out of this? The enemies of the Jews, they're trying to say that, well, we'll just change the definition of the Jews. You know, the Jews means anybody who, wants to be like us or accept our religion or something. But it's not so. A Jew is defined by God. God defined a Jew, that a Jew is a person that has a Jewish mother. That goes all the way back to Abraham, or a convert, people who genuinely converted. And that means a Jewish mother or a person who genuinely, that is who a Jew is, not just anybody who wants to be Jewish or wants to live in the land of Israel or wants to sit and play basketball for the Israeli, from the Tel Aviv team or something. That doesn't make you a Jew, which there's a lot of Israelis which will disagree with that, but God does agree with it. God will eventually be called the God of the whole world, because the same God of Israel, He's creating everybody. So now, isha azuva, like a woman who has been abandoned, batzuva, and is sad, korech God, the eshet norim, just like a sad wife who has been forsaken, and God has called you, but like the wife of one's youth, kitimas, that has become despised, you've been, right? He got married, it was really nice at the wedding, and all of a sudden, she decides that every day she's going to, right, not do wash the clothes and to throw food at him and then shame him in person, in public, do these terrible things. So her husband says, okay, I think I had enough. You'll come to your senses, I'll come back. So just like everybody says, wow, her husband left her, says, Rega Katan, God is saying, he's speaking through Isaiah the prophet, just in one moment I have left you, but with great mercy I will gather you. Beshetzef Kesef, with a tremendous fury and anger, I have concealed my face just for a moment from you, but with eternal kindness, I will love you, says your Redeemer, God. Okay, what's this got to do with this week's Torah portion? Usually the Haftorah has something to do with the Torah portion. Well, here it comes. Because the waters of Noah are to me, and I have sworn that I will never pass over these turbulent waters again on the world. Because I have sworn off to be angry at you, or even to yell at you anymore, says God. This is the prophecy, of course, which God says he's going to redeem the Jewish people. Don't worry about it. The Jewish people have done some pretty bad things. So God is saying, listen, first of all, you can be excused because all the bad things you did was because you were scattered around the non-Jews. That's what Abraham said. Abraham said, when the Jewish people sin, should they go to hell and be punished there, or should they be put into exile? So he said exile is better. We learned about that in the morning when you're talking about Noah. So the troubles of the world, that'll bring them back to their senses. And if you have any doubts, because the mountains will move and the hills will all, whatever, shake, but my love for you will never move, and my covenant of peace will never become unstable, says your beloved one, God. And that is this week's Torah portion. So don't worry. What's God saying? This story that we learned about Noah, that God destroyed everybody, that was a one-time thing. But now don't think that doesn't mean that there's no flood waters. There is, like we learned in the morning. But the flood waters are the troubles with family and with health and with making money, parnasa, having a livelihood. Right? Those are the main big problems in the world. Once I remember the Lubavitcher Rebbe said that there's a lot of reasons for anti-Semitism, but the thing that really kicks it off in the end is when people don't have money. When there's poverty in places, as they start blaming it on the Jews. So therefore, poverty is a big problem. Nowadays, there's another reason for hatred, and that is health. Because of this whole thing, this Corona and COVID panic, as the non-Jews are starting to, the stores are closed, people don't have work, people don't have money, people are afraid, so they blame the Jews. Jew hatred is all over. Jews caused the whole thing. So that's already two reasons that caused Jews trouble in the world. One of them is health. Another one is finances. And another big one is also family. A person sees his children going out intermarrying, going crazy, right, leaving Judaism, as it makes a big, terrible flood waters to know how to cope with things like this. So that's what God says, don't worry about it. The actual flood waters that were from Noah I'm not going to pass over any more, but there will be, right? In other words, to destroy the Jewish people. But there are these troubles and worries which only are there to elevate us, to bring us to a higher level, to take a stand, and to reveal why we're here in the world. That's the point of this Haftorah, that everything that happens is only for our good, somehow or other, and it brings us to love the Creator even more. And God says, as far as me loving you, you don't have to worry. It's always there. All you have to do is just open your eyes and see it. And I'm never going to treat you with a harsh hand again. How we can explain things like the Holocaust and everything, beyond me, absolutely no idea. But it will be explained. Mashiach will somehow or other explain. He's going to have a lot of explaining to do, but he definitely will explain how it is that the Jews stood against all the pressures of the world, from the missionaries and from the universities and from the atheists and etc. and the Zionists and the communists, and how we withstood this. It's impossible to understand. But also the punishments that we receive are also impossible to understand. And God willing, Mashiach comes, we'll explain it all. But one thing we know for sure, that God's love for us is eternal, because the mountains will move and the high places will be shaken, but my love for you will never move. And my covenant with you, that was the rainbow, right? The covenant, the Jewish people have even a deeper covenant, which is this circumcision, will never move forever, says the one who loves you, right? Love, signed God, creator of the universe. Have a good Shabbos with Mashiach. Now, God willing, tomorrow morning at 8:15, there will be a class. We will have a class, and we'll finish the little bit that's left in the Devar Malchus, and there's a beautiful short sikha of the Rebbe about the benefits of science and etc. We'll learn that, God willing, tomorrow. Have a good day with Mashiach now, and hope to see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Rabbi.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming. God bless you. How was your Tishrei? One second.
Wonderful.